Malcolm X visited Smethwick on February the 12th, 1965. He came to the town to show solidarity to the local community and to speak out against the racial tensions and discriminations that were prevalent at the time. His visit was part of a broader campaign against racism and for his support for the global black liberation struggle.
And the Negro community makes a mistake when it tries to say we're as good as you are, because they're admitting that you're better. I personally don't endorse that.
When Malcolm X visited Smethwick, he engaged in several activities to show his solidarity to the local community and to highlight the racial tensions in the area. Some of those visits included a tour of Marshall Street, where racial tensions were particularly high. He spoke to local residents and witnessed firsthand the discriminatory practices such as signs in pubs and houses that stated "No Coloureds." Malcolm X also addressed the press, expressing his concerns about the treatment of black and Asian residents in Smethwick. He compared their treatment to that of the Jews under Hitler. Malcolm X also met with local leaders and activists.
So Malcolm X was invited here by the Indian Workers Association. The leadership at that time was Jagmohan Joshi, Tejas Sahota, Shirley Joshi was involved, and Aftar Johal, who's my father. The reason why they invited Malcolm X was to shed lights of the unfolding apartheid that was not only happening on this street but throughout the borough. The story of Marshall Street is that Mrs. Grove had started a campaign to petition the council to get the council to buy up the houses here that came up for sale, so that they'd end up on the council's stock, so that there's only available to the people on the council housing waiting list. So what Mrs. Grove was trying to do was to ensure that there's no more people, what they used to be called as coloured people, Asian and African Caribbean people, or more Caribbean sort of people, to occupy any more houses on the street. And the purpose of inviting Malcolm X here was to shine a light, and also on what was happening here in sort of Smethwick, but was also happening in other towns, conurbations where migrants had sort of settled, and to fight against it.
The Indian Workers Association had played a crucial role in Malcolm X's visit to Smethwick, and under their leadership of Aftar Singh Johal, Malcolm was invited to Smethwick to show solidarity with the local community and to highlight the racial tension and discriminatory practices in the area. The IDWA, or Indian Workers Association, was actively involved in working against the racist policies of the local Conservative Council, which included efforts to segregate housing and prevent black and Asian families from moving into certain areas. By inviting Malcolm X, the Indian Workers Association aimed to draw international attention to the issues faced by the local community and to garner support for their struggle against racism. Sadly, Malcolm X returned to America and was assassinated 9 days later, and was unable to continue his support for this campaign. Here in 2025, we now celebrate the 60th anniversary of Malcolm X's visit, and it's commemorated with a series of events and activities to honour his legacy and the impact of his visit. Black Heritage Walk Network CIC has also organised a Malcolm X walk, allowing participants to step back in time and experience the powerful message of Malcolm X's visit. The MX60 Collective is a group of people, activists and organisations that have brought together a celebratory programme titled Life, Lessons and Legacy to mark the anniversary. This includes various events aimed at reflecting on Malcolm X's contributions and the ongoing fight against racism. One of those activities is a major new public artwork which is going to be unveiled at the Ivy Bush Bar and Grill, which was previously barred to black and Asian people in the 1960s. The artwork, commissioned by Legacy West Midlands and funded by Arts Council, celebrates Malcolm's legacy and the anti-racism campaign within the West Midlands.
This has been a very, very interesting walk. I remember as a child hearing about Malcolm X coming to Smethwick and my parents and everybody listening to the disgusting talk from the Conservative Party about the immigrants and black people in the country. And today's walk has really been able to sort of give me the background, to give me the relevance of not only black people, but different communities that came together to try to make a difference.
As well as this event, there will also be events at the Shahid Udham Singh Welfare Centre in Handsworth, Birmingham.